Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the BMRL network. And here we're live here tonight for the Cup Series here at the Atlanta race circuit for the old layout tonight. We had it last week for the other two series, the newer one, but there's going to be the older one tonight to show us how this is all going to be going on. It's Zebby here, and I've got my co-commentator tonight. It's Mike with us tonight. How are you doing, Mike?
Pretty good, buddy. Glad to be here. How are you doing?
All good. Really quite excited to see these cars now get out on to the circuit into the qualifying session and get ready up for the race.
This is going to be a good one for sure. I'm ready to get this one started, man.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, last week we didn't have the Cup Series, of course, because of the hot Thanksgiving holidays. But the one before that, the first race of the season, it was, let me tell you, the best race of the week. It was for round one at Daytona, but it was an amazing one. So sure, expecting another fantastic, entertaining race.
For sure, man. This should be very entertaining. This is a pretty good track, decently fast. We'll see a lot of action here, I'm sure.
Yep, definitely. As we're just at one car at the moment, it's number 9, I believe, just going around. We've seen these cars do a qualifying of 5 minutes, 2 laps each, I believe, and then it'll be all ready up for the grid so far. It's only Andrew Groos in that first place, but in the pit. So nobody really out on the track at the moment to be having a lap time, except for that one car that we see at this point in time. And we'll just be hoping that we see more and more cars out on track in a bit, of course, as they have their cars, their times on the board, and should be fun. This is going to be some extra fun. The qualifying's over, and we have our starting grid now with Andrew Groos, fastest of them all in that first place, and then Austin Hund in that second one. That locks out the front row for you, the 1 and 2 of the starting grid. And then it's Don Ledray in third place and Aaron Jackson in fourth. Just following them would be William in that 5th place and Adam Gardner in 6th. That completes out of the top 6 of this starting grid. Then comes Dustin Hardy in that 7th place and Dana Chapman in 8th. With Cameron Welsh in 9th and Jamie Prevost completing that top 10 of this grid. And then it's Jeffrey Peppers, which should be Jeff Peppers in that 11th place, and Sean Cross completing out the 12th and 6th row of the grid. And then it's Chris Mayo in 13 and Darby in that 14th place, which is going to be row 7. And then it's going to be Corey Denson and Morgan Sterling in 15th and 16th for the two of them on the 8th row of the grid. Then come the 9th row of the grid without a name, but let's go on. So that should be the drivers. There shouldn't be anybody on the 9th row then. We have the cars ready up already. The pace car to go and get us going on to the rolling start. Just waiting for the drivers still for some of them to grid up, to get ready, get themselves prepared, and lock themselves into the race and just get going.
Can't wait for this one. A lot of good-looking cars out there on the grid, too.
Yep, really running their favorite paints and stuff, and really trying to show some nice liveries to us here tonight, and just hopefully show us some nice performance. We hoping to show us the performance as good as their liveries, but it'll be 150 laps of the circuit. And there it is. Everybody's ready up, gridded, and now we're ready to go and start for that rolling start. Just everyone now behind that pace car. It's got to be the 15 and 19, all ahead of everyone. We're ready to get going and get started for the race. They will be on it straight away, will not be waiting about anything or for anything to stop. They will be at it straight away. We'll see in that. Mike, who are we expecting? Are we expecting the top guys to stay at the top, or there will be some problems? Of course, the newer layout of Atlanta, a lot higher than this older one. Sure, we'll see how they're going to go. But anytime, are we going to see these guys going 3 wide?
I think we're going to see a little bit of 3 wide action. You know, there's going to be a lot of guys fighting for a lot of positions, and they'll stick their car wherever they think they can get it, man. And like I said, this is going to be an interesting one here. We're running on the old surface, which, you know, this takes me back to when I was watching NASCAR. I don't watch it anymore, but this takes me back to when I was watching NASCAR. This is going to be some good racing right here.
Yep, some racing and some memories for Mike as the base car comes in straight away. There will be the green flag as they get across the line now. The race start's going to get us going now. Already we're going to have the cars fighting out over the line. Meanwhile, the number 9 on the inside line seems to be following away a little bit of the 18. We have to get going straight away. The 19 on the inside and the 9 now goes through on the 18 and might just find their way on the 15 as well as now the 19 on the head in that first place trying to defend and trying to get and stay ahead of everyone. Meanwhile, Andrew Gruus in that number 10, it says for some reason maybe cars different numbers on the paint and different in the in-game numbers, but at the moment the 19 and the 15 fighting out each other. Meanwhile, the number 9 is going to go in between the two, almost making it 3 wide. The racing and the fighting up for these drivers is already on. Meanwhile, the number 9 goes through on the inside line, and the 15 going very, very wide. They're far wide for the driver on the outside, and everybody at the back of the grid fighting for positions as well. And that's going to be the first caution and incident of the race already. We just get going, and there's an incident.
Oh, man.
That is Dustin Hardy in the 25. He already finds himself into the wall. We saw him have a very great race at the pretty much the beginning of the week, but not quite the Cup Series he would have wanted. Straight away, the first one that we see being in the wall, and that's a caution already.
Man, what a hard hit.
That's now Chapman and Jeff Peppers on to the pit lane, just trying to get themselves maybe some extra fuel to get them to the end of the stage if they need, and some repairs if they have end up being caught in that incident. But it was Dustin Hardy, the one that was the involved, the big one which he had, and that is going to see him get behind a little bit maybe in the these race leading guys if he has to pit for some damage repairs. That's going to be right front suspension broken for Jeff Peppers in that 48 car. We'll see if that is repairable, or even if they are able to repair it, how long is this going to take for the teams to repair? Is that going to be worth it, though? Because then he would be running probably a few laps down on the leaders, and would be hoping that he's ahead of them all who are a lap down, and get back on the lead lap if there is any caution back again. If there won't be more, there should be one at the end of that first stage. So just having a look at in fact, with the stages we're having a look at tonight, that's going to be on what the stage 1 till from lap 1 to lap 40. Then it'll be stayed lap 85 from 40 to 85, that second stage, and then from 85 we will go to the end to 150. Hey, the Jeff Peppers might just be done. His race might have just gotten ended before it even really begun. He's just still staying in the pit lane, not able to repair. I mean, how much time is he leaving here? Even if you are seeing him come out, it won't be really easy for him to get back with the leaders.
Yeah,
well, we're not hearing anything from Mike. Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, carry on.
He's definitely going to have to be patient, and if he goes a lap down, which it looks like he's going to, he's going to have to be patient for that lucky dog if he gets back out.
I mean, even if he's getting back out at this moment, that might be some luck for him, but let alone be back with the leaders on that lead lap. So he would be having to wait to just be there for another caution, pretty much just wait till lap 40, unless there are more incidents just like this one. But it would be nice to see if how Peppers really got that damage, because we saw Dustin Hardy going very, very wide and really being one of the ones that hit the wall, but nobody else we saw going wide or any big incident with them. But we still see the likes of Peppers and Chapman earlier we saw in the pit road.
Yeah, definitely was a couple cars there that got involved in that accident, and well, it may be bad luck for them at the start.
Yep, definitely not the luck or the start they would have hoped for. Meanwhile, the leaders are at it. The number 9 and number 18 are going to be at it at the top and ahead of everyone there. And that's 22 of Corey Denson. 22 in the car, but should be 91 in the game there. But we'll see how this are they all going to be going up. Corey Denson. What's happening here? We're not seeing the pace car on the track, and we are back green. That overlay did not update for some reason. It still says yellow on it, but that's back green now. Meanwhile, Corey Denson jumps to the inside line already to try and defend from all the cars right behind, but this is going to be some other cars from the back of the grid to try and have a go at them as well. Everybody's now having their race, and the race is looking to be very good at the top of it. Meanwhile, the 25 right behind of Dustin Hardy just staying with these guys to the lead, and that's going to be 18 just on the inside of 9. They're trying to go, and on the inside lining so switches back to the outside almost, and that was a little bit of a touch from Corey Denson there to the 18.
Whoa. Oh my
That was
goodness.
very close, and that is going to be an incident between the number 22 of Corey Denson, and we don't know who the other car was, but that is a big damage one more time for one of those drivers, and that's another incident. And if we saw Jeff Peppers back out on track, he might want to be the lucky dog here, but he's still in the pits, so nothing on him. He might be done for the night. And that is Chris Mayo in that 24 car straight into Corey Denson there. That is pretty much going to be big damage for both of them once again. Really, the other night, Chris Mayo in the truck series got knocked out as well, having an incident, so he would not be wishing for this one to happen in 2 races in a row for him here at BMRL, and I think he'd like to recover, but it'll be nice to see if he's able to recover from any damage, or does he stay out and not pit in and just carry on with anything he's got, or he might have just gotten away with some kind of a big damage then. He has quite a bit of damage, so it will be interesting to see. I mean, he should be coming into the pits then any time soon, because it would be pretty weird for him to carry on, and as he's in the pits already. In the pits, he might join his buddy Jeff Peppers in there, and stay in the pit lane, maybe hope to try and get back out on track. Unlike Jeff Peppers, of course, a suspension broken is probably a far longer work than usual, or a small damage fix in the pit lane, and I think a suspension repair would not be ideal for the team to repair and then Peppers to really get back on. Peppers has done over 400 seconds. That is many minutes for him to be buzzing up, still being in that pit road, and 45 for Mayo, so Mayo might just be able to get out as soon as the repairs are done, but Peppers seems to be done. We're on lap 10, which is going to be 11 next time by, and we've already had the 2 cautions and incidents in this race so far. Sure, this is not the newer one, not the tighter one, still got wider layout and many chances for the drivers to go maybe 3 wide, but this time around we're not even seeing these guys. Sure, some of them are going 3 wide, but the ones involved were just side by side and find each other in one way or the other.
Yeah, which is quite surprising. Usually the incidents that happen in tracks like this are the ones that they go 3 wide, and all of a sudden, well, we ain't got no room, and yeah, ends up nasty. But yeah, we haven't really seen any 3 wide incidents yet.
Not quite yet. I'm sure in the first this first stage, which of course goes to lap 40, everybody would be looking to just be patient, be not much aggressive, just stay out there, just not ruin theirs, but anybody else's race as well, to just stay within pretty much the pack and just carry on this race. Maybe try and go at things in that second and third stage, but we are already seeing somewhat incidents, trying to stay away, but still finding the wall or any other car, just collecting them in that damage in one way or the other. So sure, some of them haven't got the start, but the leaders have been pretty clear. The few cars right behind them, we've seen some incidents, but those other at the back of the grid, the top drivers, are quite comfortable so far, at least in terms of incidents, as long as incidents are concerned. Lap 11 here, which is going to become 12 across the line, or is it going to stay 11? But we'll see. How long is the pace car going to be running up now? So far the lead is currently the 18, the number 9, I believe it should be, but we'll see. Meanwhile, we have the cars disappear out on track. They should be back in a minute. That is some iRacing issues, a little bit just disappearing up there, but we are back at it one more time, seeing these cars out on the circuit and really give us the action that we are been waiting for this one. So let's just talk about, I mean, the previous race in the Cup Series, pretty much the interesting race of that week, for me at least, and I think this one brings out the expectation to it. You know, the drivers really trying to go at it all, really waiting an extra week with that because of the no race last week in that Cup Series, and now they're all at it, and those who have been involved would really not be happy. Sure, usually you're not, but having to wait a little bit longer than usual for this Cup Series race to be there, it's going to hurt them a lot. Meanwhile, the pace car is back in one more time. We're going to be going green on lap 11, which is going to be 13 as these drivers get across that line now. The leaders are at it. Meanwhile, the top two, the fight for that second place is still on. Meanwhile, the number 18 and the other car that should be 15 side by side with those drivers are at it all. The laps are, which that is going to be interesting to see. Meanwhile, they're on the outside. The 18 on the outside is losing many positions out there. I'm not sure what happened though. It said 150 laps. It says 126 now. But we are going to carry on with the fight of the race. Meanwhile, we are having one of the other cars on the outside now. It's hard to judge to see what number they are on, and that is the 15 and the 19 on the inside line. Meanwhile, the 9 leads it ahead of everyone, ahead of every other driver. Meanwhile, 19 on the inside, 15 on the outside. 18 gets in there as well. 15 now running very wide. Is 18 going to find their way in? That's going to be 19 pushing them into the wall. That was very close between 18 and the 19 and the car on the outside. That is 19. Now they're going 3 wide, 15, 19, and 18. That's going to be somewhat things coming out of this. Are we going to see all these guys coming out safely? They're going to try and go at the leaders, but forget the leader. The fight for that second place is already on. Now 18, 19, and 15, the top 3 in this race. So far, that's going to be 15, 19, and 18 going at it. 19 on the outside line. Now, meanwhile, Adam Gardner, 56, could find his way on the inside line, make it 3 or even 4 wide. Meanwhile, Don Ladray, the number 9, is quite comfortable at the top and the race lead of this race. We're at it now. The 19 takes it all ahead of everyone in that second place. Now 18 is going to try and come back at him. Meanwhile, 56 now slotting in there as well. The fight, the race is already beginning now. This is all the action we want to see. It is all going out there for every one of them now. Meanwhile, Prevost 73 just trying to get past the car ahead of them.
A lot of good action going on here tonight.
Yeah, it is fantastic action. I think there was a little slide from one of the cars right behind, and there's some of them falling out at the back, but the 19 is not going to leave it at all. That should be Andrew Gross, which is number 10, but says 19 on this car paint, and we're going to see these guys fight it out. Meanwhile, Don Led right now will be in big pressure from 19 there on the outside, so will be the 18 in from Adam Gardner, 56 on the inside line, going at it as well. They're all too wide, and now around the outside is going to go Andrew Gross there on the outside, the number 10, going at it. That's going to see him take the lead of the race here. Meanwhile, we have somebody else on the outside. They're going very, very wide. Don't Let Ray's not going to leave it out at all. The other night in that truck series, Don't Let Ray won the first 2 rounds of the truck series, sorry, the first 2 stages of that race the other day, and then he had to concede the race victory, finishing out in 2nd place in that 3rd and final stage. So I'm finished 2nd overall, but that will be on. That's going to be one of the cars into the wall on the inside line, and that's one more incident out here. That is Andrew now, just after taking the race lead. That was trouble coming up for him, and he's been part of it already. We saw him stay on the outside line and take that lead, but that might have been some problems for him, or was that him on his own there without being involved with anyone? Let's have a look at it one more time, and that indeed was himself, by all by him there, just on the outside, not able to slow down enough and hit that wall on the outside, and that's going to see him go back from outside to the inside line, and that is more damage coming up by himself, and that's going to be music to Don Lad's ears as he's going to take that lead back on him. And that was just a little tap of the wall on the outside, and he tried saving it, but just can't quite do it. You can't quite do much at all. I mean, that's in such of a situation. What is the driver really thinking, Mike? And okay, we're just losing him one more time.
Sorry about that. My mic cut out. Say what?
Well, I was just talking about the incident that we saw. The number 19 of was it Don Lad? Not Don Lad. The Andrew Gross hitting the wall on the outside on his own, going back on the inside line. Just talking about how hard it is for a driver to really make such a mistake on their own and then try and save it from there. Meanwhile, 56 of Gardner now challenging up Don Lad Ray for the race lead.
Yeah, the way that incident went, it is really, really hard to gain back control. Once that car kicks out at these kind of speeds and it's going towards the wall, there's not much you can do to save it here.
Yeah, and I think these drivers are really finding it hard here tonight. Even in the Cup Series, the car is very nice to drive out there. At least that's what I've heard from all these drivers, but not quite easy tonight. They're really finding it quite hard to stay away from these walls. So even if they're not involved with anyone, these walls are not far away from them to hit. And that's going to be the 18 now. One more on the inside line, and that's going to be 18. Aaron Jackson, they're just trying to fight out Adam Gardner around the outside. You know, Don Lad Ray still finds it very comfortable at the top and ahead of everyone. Nobody really close enough to him. Meanwhile, 56 18 Aaron Jackson, we're seeing on board from his cockpit now, just looking having to be a passenger of Aaron there at the moment on a track, really, during a race. It will be nice to see. Meanwhile, the car on the outside comes out and gets him there. We did not see him out there, but that's Austin Hund just staying in that 3rd place as it stands. He's on the outside of Jackson there as well then, because we've seen one of the cars that should be, that was 15 indeed of Aaron Jackson. So that's now Adam Gardner. He's at it all. They're 3 wide. They could be going at it as 18 tries to go on in between, and that's going to be an incident. Folding up, the car's involved one more time. The 18 of Jackson finds it very, very luckily there, back out on track, gains back control, and back on it. A bit of luck in there as well.
And we were just talking about how hard it is to gain control of these cars once they get loose. That right there was a good piece of driving to keep from getting a caution thrown.
Yeah, really, he saved it in there. I mean, he saved it from probably his heart through his mouth now. Just trying to get it back, gain back that control and not lose out of this race already on lap 25 with about 125 laps still to go in this one.
So 125 laps left. I'm going to go out on a limb, and I'm going to keep my eye on that 9 car. He's been really good as of so far.
Yep, he has been really good. The other night in that truck series, he was really good as well. He won the first 2 stages, but in the end got damages, and he was running about 5th or 6th place, I believe, after that incident which he had in that third stage, I believe. And then even after that, he ended up finishing back in that second place and nearly got that race victory. So his speed is no doubt about it. He's got the speed, he's got the pace, what it takes. He had it in the trucks, but he's showing now in the Cup Series as well. And meanwhile, Adam Gardner goes on the inside to push himself into the second place. That's not Gardner, in fact, that is somebody else. We see very similar paints from all these cars, and that should be the struggling to read out the number out there, but that is the 15 in that third place, but the one ahead of him would be nice to know, but
56.
That is 56. That is indeed 56. We saw, but maybe he's running a little bit of different paint. Purple on the roof on his car, but on the side of it, it's a bit of a different color out there. So he's running some new schemes, new paint schemes on their cars. All these drivers out there at all, and now the pressure for Gardner from that 15 is on already. That could be the 15 on the inside line of Gardner. There is he going to send it through. Who is it going to be coming out back on? That would be 56 on the outside, still hanging around, not moving at all, not moving to try and maybe give him a bit of a defensive move out there. But of course, he stays committed to the outside line, and that's going to be, they are still going to be going to be side by side. Is it going to be the 15 now on the inside with a bit of a speed, with a bit of a boost out there than the 56, but he's not going to leave him out there as well. Are we going to see the 15 get back on the outside line? And is there going to be somewhat of an incident? He just has to back out there. Hadn't he done that? We saw many incidents the other night with the drivers just thinking they had made the move and moved to the outside to defend, and they'll end up getting their tail up to the front of the other car. And that we saw many incidents. These guys just staying out of that for the time being.
Yeah, the 56 and the 15 there really going for it side by side. Good battle.
Yeah, that is a fantastic battle between the two, really giving us the light of this race so far. Just scraping it out there. They trying to do some bit of a slipstream. They're going to try and get it out. The drafting to get these guys together, but I think so far this helps out. Meanwhile, the 15 goes on the inside line one more time. That's going to be a chance one more time in this race so far. That is the repeat of the previous lap. That's going to see the 15 go stay on the inside line, go through it this time around. He's completely made the move and committed to hit the out. He moves from inside to the outside line now. Low to high, we call it as here on in. That's going to be one more chance for Gardner, or does he stay committed to the outside line? He completely moves to the inside, but so does the 15 to try and defend. He has to be staying active. He has to watch out his mirrors and be quick in that defending as well.
It looks like the 15 may be even catching the leader here.
Yeah, it could be interesting. The 15 just showing us the speed they've got at this point in time in this race. Meanwhile, we are on lap 32 out of 150, and that lap 40 will be the main one, the one that ends the stage. Meanwhile, the number 5 goes on the inside of the 73 there. They're having their own scrape as well, but the race with the stage win could be on for fight here for the leaders. Anybody could take it. Let it be the 15, the number 9, and maybe the one behind them, the 56 of Gardner as well. It's all on. That's going to be a three-way fight for that first stage win.
And this is what you like to come out here and see. All these guys battling side by side, very clean. Lots and lots of lead change. Well, not a lot of lead change, but I guess at this point, 3 lead changes would be a lot. But you see a lot of guys back and forth, and that's what you want to see here for a race like this.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, so far it's they've been just going out back and forth in terms of position, switching it around, and that's exactly what happens. And even sometimes if you're ahead of one or the other driver, you're thinking, okay, I've got them covered, but that doesn't quite mean enough in oval racing. Especially you're never enough. Even if a driver is far away from behind you, you make one mistake, even go a little bit wider, or even if you're staying committed to your line, they could be getting that little bit of a draft and a bit of a help with that, and just be back at you and get back at you. Meanwhile, they are gonna now lap the other car, which was number 3, I believe, of one of the drivers. That's gonna be Ray and 15. The fight for that first stage win seems to be on. Anybody who's committed, who's fully committed for that move so far, we'll see. But is Don Ladd here going to be able to defend his lead position and see himself take that stage 1 win. He did it last night. He did it the other night in that truck series. Can he do it this time around as well? And that's going to be the 15 on the inside line, the 9 on the outside there. The 15 thought to come at him on the inside line, but that's going to be a bit of a... it's not quite easy for him. Don Lad really going to be trying and defending and pretty much not trying to take much pressure at all, because sure, Austin Hund is going to give Don Lad the pressure that to maybe lose out of position, maybe go a little bit wide. We're just going to see Austin go through it, but not quite easy for him so far.
Austin definitely pushing that 15 machine as hard as he can to try and catch that 9 car and possibly make a move here.
Yep, he's at it. He's not going to let him smooth. He's not going to let him stay calm at all. He's going to put all the pressure he can on Don Lad Ray, and maybe sometimes as it happens, we've seen the drivers make mistakes in terms of pressure, and maybe in that moment, as we're going to see Austin now move to the outside line, the chance for Austin to take that lead could be on out here, and that stage win fight is already on. Is he going to move to the inside line? Not quite though. Don Lad does very, very good to defend, but Austin is giving it everything at this point in time to get that race lead for himself.
Here he comes, creeping up to the bumper.
Gets very close, gets close, but not quite close enough to make that move so far. Still stays behind. We're on lap 37, which should be going over 38 now as they get across the line in a few moments' time. And I think that is going to be now. Time's over. This could be a time for Austin Hund, but not enough still. It's giving it everything out there, not leaving anything on the table. But the fight is not easy, and I think you have to praise Don Lad here. He's doing very, very good defending, at least this point in time so far.
Yeah, great defense by our leader here in the number 9 car, but the 15 just not letting him get away, keeping him within distance to try and make a move.
If the move seems to be on, we are on. Meanwhile, we just switching up to, it was lap 39 earlier, should be lap 30, still says 39 though. We might be in onto the 40 in the final lap before the end of this stage in a few moments' time, but I think we'll see what is all going to be a time. One more chance, and I think he's got a few more corners to go. Has the number 15 to go at it one more time than the number 9 car. And just coming to the end of the stage now, and Don Lad might have just been able to enough. He could have just had enough of that speed to get himself that first stage win, and he has done it. We haven't went yellow yet, but have we went yellow? Because we are not seeing anything yet. Not yet, so we're not yet, and now we have done. So that is going to be Don Lad Ray taking the stage 1 win. He's carrying the speed and performance from the other night and doing it another first stage win for 2 races in a row. And let's get it. We just have run a few laps under that caution for these drivers to get back into the pits, get that, get a fuel, and probably not. They're not going to get tires. Not all of them. Maybe get any damage repairs if they have at the end of this first stage. We're on to the second one, which is going to last till lap 80, and we should be having the pace car coming in now in a few moments' time, which is going to see us go green and get back to that racing action one more time.
You know, honestly, on this next stint, I'm interested to see what Hun's got for the number 9 car there, our leader.
Yes, he might have a lot of it. We'll see what has gone. Not only Hun, but everybody right behind as well. If they've got a chance as well. They've got close enough. And if they're able to run it out, if they're able to run a mistake-free race, they could be at it all as well. As we have the 18 on the inside line of Jackson there, as he's already going on the inside line of the 15 there. And he's going to get one on the inside line. And maybe somebody else right behind could have a chance as well. As 15's ran very, very wide. And already, maybe the commentators, as they say, has fragged him as he switches from second to straight away as we go green. Is he might be on the way to lose even more, but one man down that he could be on the way to lose to Jackson there. And meanwhile, Jackson in the 18 car is on at him already. That is some interesting things, but this could be all. We'll get it on. We'll see that 14. Lap 47 out of 150 at it already. The pace, the action, everything stayed on. The fight between the leaders, it still stays the same. Maybe the ones who are giving him the fight are different, but everybody right ahead, ahead is exactly the same. Meanwhile, this fight between now 15 is falling massively right behind. He's lost so many positions there. Not sure who's got the music on, but we are off. We're going to get back, focus on the race here at this point in time. The 18 has gotten the lead and is staying ahead. So that is 18 ahead of everyone now. Donald has lost that lead, which is going to come after all the other lap at this point in time. Meanwhile, 73 Prevo seems to be in those pretty much behind every single one of those drivers on this lead lap at this point in time that we are seeing in this back. Nope.
There's still music.
Yep. So, now we're going to have a look at this. The 18 again now maybe pulling away a little bit. But are we seeing that leader? In fact, not the leader. For 50 laps now. Number 73 out of one there, but this has shaped out to be an interesting race now. The fight for the lead, which was only between the two drivers early on, is shaping out to be a multiple race lead fight, and even the positions behind are giving us all the action as well. Meanwhile, we've even got much on mic as well. We will be at it for this time around, and at it all, we'll all of this carry on with now the 52, on lap 52 out of 150, the 18 and 75 at it all. The 75 has just found the speed pace as he was going to be getting out there. He goes through on it as now Donlad is finding it very, very hard to even defend a position down at this point in time.
Yeah, he's definitely having a hard time keeping position here, the 9 car.
He's not quite able to do that. Meanwhile, the 18 and 75 are at it and fighting it all. They're giving us the fight that Donlad and the 15 were giving us on the other end, and now everything has switched up. The guys who were a few positions behind the leaders early on at the end of that first stage are at the top now and ahead of everyone. Meanwhile, the 15 is far, far behind everyone. Meanwhile, the 18 and 75 still giving it all, but Donlad's coming back at him. He says, don't worry about me, you worry about yourself, and I'll be back at you in no time.
Doing a great job getting through the field here. Our ex-leader here, the number 9 car, coming up to our leaders right now and saying, I'm still part of this fight. I ain't done yet.
That could be on the 55 out of 150 at this point in time. The fighters, the leaders, are at it one more time. Out of it at this point in time. Here at the 18 and 75 now on the outside line. Could there well be a chance? And he hit the wall there, 75. He clipped up the wall, but quite enough. We saw one of the drivers earlier going to from outside to the inside wall after hitting the outside one. But it is very, very smooth for the 75 one. He's been quite lucky there to keep it all to himself.
$18 and the 75 giving us a good show here up front.
With this, meanwhile, the 15 is going to get ahead of Donlad Ray and the drivers. They were maybe just lifting back a little bit, the leaders, but they're back on their true speed and colors at this point in time, and they're going to be all at it to try and fight for that race lead. They will be they're gonna give the fight to us. Now the race lead fight, which was between only the top 2 drivers, is now becoming a top 5 fight at this point in time. There is the top 3 drivers to fight for that race lead as 75 goes on the outside of the 18 and 15 is on the inside line as well. 3 wide moment could be coming up very, very soon now.
And I think he's gonna go for it. This could be really good right here.
We will be at it, and I think it is interesting to see. Meanwhile, we've seen just drivers fight it out. The race has been going on. Meanwhile, we will be just moving around into lap 60 now. The lead fight for the lead is fantastically shaping it out there. They are giving it all. Nobody's backing out. Nobody's giving what each one or the other enough easy time that one or the other would want, and they're all at it, giving it everything. Meanwhile, 75 now falling behind to give one more time as the faster drivers are there and getting in themselves in there as well. And now the fight between 15-9 and 18 is going to be on already. The fight was on, but this is going to be now very interesting between the 15 and the 18 as well. Now number 9 won't be far away as well. This could be all on.
Definitely a potential here for a really good battle, guys.
Lap 60 out of 150 at this point in time, and the race is going to be on. The 15 is going to go on the inside line now. The 18 is going to feel that pressure one more time to staying away from that wall on the outside. It gets very close every single time they're at it, and he in fact clips it this time, which saw him rapidly move to the inside line, but quite lucky enough for him to stay there and not quite have any issues.
Very easy to accidentally smack that outside wall when you've got a lot of momentum coming out of these corners here. These cars are going so quick, sometimes it's really hard to avoid.
Not quite easy. I mean, the wall, that has been a bit of an issue and a worry for these drivers to take care of, because one moment they're looking back in their mirrors to fight, focus on the cars behind, but this could be the focus on, as we are all at it. There hits the one and the ones, hit the wall, and the trouble of hitting the walls comes at, if not the leaders, one of the drivers behind, and that is going to be one more time an incident and caution, the first one of this second stage, but that was very lucky, one of those drivers heading pit road there. But we're going to just have a look at what happened there. Is it going to be the 25 of Dustin Hardy involved one more time? And that was, we're unable to, let's see who that was. Just try and get back on the lead to the incident driver who was involved in this. Unable to find it yet, but we should be getting in there in a moment. Might be the 3 of Derby there, but unable to, not sure of what's going on here in this point in time. Still trying to identify everything out there. Yeah, so that was Derby, and at this point in time, he might have just completely switched from outside to inside to the outside, unknowingly, and not checking his mirrors, as you were just talking about, having a look at their mirrors, and that's exactly what has happened. The one on the outside was doing their own and going and committing to that line, but the number 3 has just switched rapidly to the outside line, which is going to give them damage and trouble, which is going to see us go into caution.
And you also notice on his way by, the car he made contact with, he bounces off the wall, spins his front back around, and catches the guy, and he also ends up into the wall with a little bit of damage here. Alrighty, guys, we will be back here shortly. We are going to commercial. We will see you here in just a couple seconds.
And we are back with after a bit of a break. A few seconds for us to relax a bit as well, and for these drivers to get ready on and get going one more time after a collision and an incident. Not many laps to the end now. We should be about with as we go green, it will be lap 67. So just about a little less than 20 laps to the end of the second stage, which would be at lap 85. We saw Donald Ray taking that victory at the end of that first stage, but it might not be as easy as it was in that first one for him, Donald, at this point in time. Well, the lap 66, the 66, it goes green, the pace car goes in, the 18 leads it ahead of everyone. Aaron Jackson is finding it quite easy at this point in time. He's quite chilling in there, but meanwhile, the Don lad could be having to chill out there as well as he goes on the inside line of the 15 and get himself back inside the top two of this race at this point in time, and he sends it in, has to get out and get back on. But how long before this is all going to be going on? Or is Donlan going to be able to make the move, though? Not quite enough for the 15 in there, but as well for the 75 and somewhat of the cars right behind as well. 18 is high finding it. He's a little bit far away from the drivers behind, but the side-by-side going were 15 and number 9, but they are not quite easy as well. Meanwhile, the 9 now almost loses out on the 15, is on the outside line at it all. The only driver in the between the top fighters on the inside would be Donlet there, ahead of everyone on that inside line, just trying to get back on one more time, but not quite easy at all. Just finding it quite hard at this moment in time, not quite easy at all. Just really fighting that. These cars fighting out everybody around, and not quite easy what it takes for these drivers to get on. And I think they haven't quite added quite easy for others, for themselves and others behind as well. That was almost the drivers going 3 wide. Meanwhile, the 15 on the outside might have just clipped that wall, and the pressure is on. The mistakes are coming in, and that's going to see him lose out positions on the inside. The 75 is going to be going at it. Meanwhile, the 18 is chilling. This is exactly whatever he wants. Everybody to challenge everyone right behind. But the 15, doesn't matter if he's hit the wall. He's going to come back at him. He's going to come up and challenge the 18 there. Meanwhile, 75 on the inside line on the number 9 is going to send it in as well. They're not having it easy, and that goes all at it. This could be on the fight, and that fight for that lead, and the fight for that second stage win could be on. Are we going to see all 3 different stage winners? Somebody winning on that first one, but nope. Someone else in that at the end of that second one, and one more at the end of that third one. That was very close between the top 2 there, 15 and 18, one more time. Meanwhile, Donlad now on the outside line, could be on the worst of taking that second place, but he's finding it very hard. Meanwhile, the 48 there, I wonder if he's on the lead lap or not, but he almost went in there between the 2. That was a little touch-up between the 15 and 9, 18 there, and they're going to send it in there with the 48 involved as well. That is an incident one more time, and that's going to be a caution. The 18 almost clipping the other car on the track behind as well, and that is one more incident already here at this point in time.
Yeah, that was a massively hard hit right there.
That is problems. We were only about 16 laps away from the end of the first stage, but that sees us get to the end of this stage, but that's going to be a few more laps for us to wait. Sure, they're not going to pause out, but a few laps under the caution one more time as the drivers get out into the pits and maybe repairs now. The drivers fighting for that lead, 18 and 15, really have put themselves and the others as well in a bit of a trouble with them clipping up with that 48 as well. The 3 wide problems have really occurred now. Just have a look at it. Look at this now, the replay of how this all folded up and the problem between the drivers happened out there. So we got it for a second, and let's have a look at this. So the 15 and 18 there, so the 15 was coming in themselves to the outside line. The 18 came at them rapidly, moving from inside to the outside. And let's have a look at it one more time. Yes, exactly, that's what happened. 15 was there, then came the 18 rapidly moving to the outside, both of them in one way or the other, one moving to the inside, the other to the outside. They clipped in. Then the 48, he was trying to stay far away from any trouble out there between the drivers at the top of the grid there, but that has ended up him getting damage as well. And now everyone just coming in to maybe get themselves fuel and tires probably to go to the end if they need as well. At this point in time, the fight could be on, and that sees us all have a few more laps under that pace car one more time. So many cautions out here tonight.
Yes, sir. Taking care of everything right now.
And edit one more time, probably the third or fourth time in this, even in this second stage, or having to go green. Really have been quite a lot of time. The caution's coming out, and just now 10 laps to the end. The pace car lights are out as that heads into the pits. We should be going green, and one more time, and hopefully we can have these 10 laps as clean as they have been. What are we making out of this race, Mike? Really I mean, these drivers have been at it all. One more, we saw the incidents happening as well. So what are those drivers thinking at this point in time? Really, we saw that 15 pretty much stayed at their line and then still end up collecting the 18. So can we say that a racing incident, or one or the other driver has to be blamed for it?
I think it's probably just down to a racing incident because
Oh,
wow.
One more time, and that is already, as we just talk about racing incidents, it should be going from green to yellow back again one more time. We're seeing what happens there at this point in time, though it says yellow on that card out there, but we'll see what happens. That is more damage before we even went green, and that was the 73 straight into him.
Yeah, I don't know what to say about that one, but the one before that, I definitely think could have been a racing incident because you do have to somewhat use throttle control with these cars, and if you don't pay attention to throttle control, it can really mess up your day.
Yep, and the pace car driver is really, let me tell you, the most active driver of this session, of this stage, seems to be the pace car driver, as before he could even go into the pit road and stop his car, he's got to be back out one more time.
He's definitely getting his pay worth.
Yep, really at it. We see this go, the pace car go in, get back out one more time, and I think most of this second stage has been just under caution, really, more than the green flag. And the third one is going to be even more crazier with the ending parts of this laps after 100 laps, when there is probably like 30 to about 20, 30 laps running to the end. There's going to be even more fights and incidents, which we could be expecting for this to unfold. And I think so far we've had many of them, which is how close the racing is, and expect nothing less of that third and final stage.
I'll tell you what, Zab, if I was the pace car driver, I'd be asking for a pay raise at this point. This man's turned more laps than the rest of the field has.
Yeah, really, he really is. There's so many laps, really. Goes in, gets back out one more time. He's there, just sitting in there. Give me some rest, but nobody's wanting that here tonight.
Yeah, exactly. Everybody wants to keep him busy here. He has turned, at least 15, 16 caution laps at this point.
Yep, might be more at this point in time, and the race is far away from over at this point, and we could be seeing him many more times again. I think that's your nothing problem. Nothing, no, you can't deny that. You know, he's going to come out many more times again. At least that's what we are expecting if the race is about to go how it's went so far.
Of course, action-packed week here on the BMRL network. We had trucks, we had everything that went on there. You got Monday Xfinity, and now here on a Thursday evening with me producing, you and Mike calling this thing. We got so much going on here at the BMRL network and the sister channel of Extreme Sim TV. We're constantly doing something. Again, thank you to each and every one of you for coming out to enjoy the show. Don't forget to slam that like button for us. Show Zab and Mike some love here. These boys put on one heck of a show here in hot Atlanta here tonight. And we're not done yet. The Club Box Motorsports yellow flag flew yet another time as we had a little mess up there on that restart. Guys not getting it all together. So easy to not pay attention to what you're doing, make a mistake, and right into another car you go. But man, oh man, Zab, we got a long way to go in the season. And you don't want to start this problems early.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, we're only in the second race of this Cup Series at this point, and it's already many drivers. And I'm sure if they're not thinking about these trying to take care of everything at this point in time, surely they will be thinking about or probably wishing that that they shouldn't have done something or probably that move that got them out of this race at any point in time, because when we are at the end of the season, maybe when there is only 1 or 2 rounds remaining and that championship's on the line, it will be all to think about. And I'm sure that it's a long season, but you have to think about it from race 1, because if you don't do that, if that doesn't hurt you today, it's going to hurt you tomorrow and probably see you stay away from that championship fight, let alone the victory, but even the top drive finishing in that top 3 or top 5 of the championship. It would be big trouble for you to the end of the championship.
All right, we'll get ready to go back green, but Zab, wasn't the second stage right around here somewhere? I think.
It is at 85. So if we're going green at this point, we should be able to have a few laps under the green flag, unless these drivers decide to ram into each other one more time and get the pace car out.
There you go. Well, Mike, what's your thoughts so far coming to green, man?
This has been a really good race. Yeah, there's been a few cautions, but there are a lot of hard racers out here putting on a great show for us, and I'm having a lot of fun, man. This is cool. This is really cool.
All right, the producer over here is going to go back into my hottie hole and let these boys have at it. Guys, take her away.
And get it one more time as Matt is about to have his time. And without the mic, we're going to carry on with the race and action pack. Meanwhile, the pace car is in. Hope to see it stay in there at least till the end of this stage and get some laps under the green flag. Meanwhile, the 3 are going 3 wide already, and the fightings is already on. As soon as we go green, they're all at it. The 15 and 18 who were involved in incidents earlier are back at it, and at the lead lap as well. They're all now shaping up, and this could be on the damage. Anything they had, they got it repaired and back out on track. The 75 is going to try and challenge up number 9 of Dawn Lad, and I think now Dawn Lad is really gonna be on the verge of taking that second stage win, and that 15 going very wide one more time, having a little bit of a contact with the 18, and that's gonna see him have problems, and that's gonna be one more problems between the 25 and the other car right behind them. And are we gonna go yellow? Not sure about that, but problems are still not staying away for these drivers. They're all one more time getting involved in the incidents and being the problems of the action so far.
Yeah, this has been one crazy race here tonight, but been a lot of fun here. Love watching these guys do their stuff here, and been a lot of hard battling. Like right now, third and second place here, you've got Jackson and Gay here getting close to having a side-by-side battle.
Yeah, they're really good at it, not backing out as well. But Donlad's having his own victory. This Mars, then he might be able to take it 2 in a row at this point in time. But there's the 18 is not going to leave him behind, and he has very, very close, about to touch bumpers out there, and it's going to be not too long before the 18's on the inside line and give him the challenge for that race lead and the race victory. The second stage win could be on one more time.
And here we go. The 18 down low. The 9 up high, and the 18 gets around.
They're not able to, and that is 18 getting ahead. Meanwhile, I'm just trying to go from low to high, and meanwhile, that's going to be Donlad from high to low, and this could be his chance again. But the 18 is going to give it all to defend, and he's just trying his all to do it out there, and so far he has been able to do so. So that second stage win, just like the first one, is very, very close. It's not going to come out easy for any of those drivers. We're just getting to the end of it though. We're on lap 84, and across that line these drivers go. It's going to be 85, and it should be caution out, and the end of this second stage will be very, very near, not far, not away from it at all now.
And yellow is out.
Yellow. That is yellow's out. I wonder if that's a stage yellow. That is not the stage yellow, I believe, because there's a car in the walls on their own.
And that looked like the number 24, Chris Mayo.
Going into the 73. Yep, and that is now, it should now be the car stage caution, but we'll see what is this going to be going on. But any updates we have, we'll update you all, but not sure what happened, because just on that lap, the final lap before the end of the stage, it all unfolded one more time, and the incidents and problems, just these drivers are not able to stay away from these. They just find one way or the other, just get into each other and cause a caution at this point. And that is the end of the stage. It should be the number 18 finishing out of everyone and taking that second stage win. So it was Donlad in that first stage and the 18 in that second stage. Are we going to see somebody else in that third stage? And if, Mike, here at this point, if we are seeing a different the stage 3 winner and the race winner, which is of course going to be, who are we looking at? Are we looking at anybody behind, or are we going to have only these two probably take the victory in that final stage when it comes, they checkered out on lap 150?
So the guys that I am looking at will be the 18 of Jackson, the 9 of Ray, and the 15 car, I don't see, of Hund. And, you know, I'm going to root for 24. He's had kind of a rough night tonight, but I'd like to see Chris Mayo hop up there in the lead as well. So we'll see. I mean, there's still a little bit of racing left, and a lot of things can happen.
Yeah, I mean, he's not quite, it's not going to be quite easy for him. He's got involved in many incidents tonight, but we'll see how this is all going to be unfolding when we get into the second stage. cleared us. We go in.
So, 87 laps here in the books, and we've seen some guys that have been pretty quick, and we've seen some dudes hang out in the back. I'm kind of hoping we see some new people make their way up through the field here in this last little stint here.
Okay. Can't quite bring anybody at this point in time, so really a few minutes wait before we have anybody in the booth to interview on after the race, but just stand by for a few minutes now.
Right, man. Tell us how you got back to the lead there at the mid moments of the third stage there where you were fighting against Gay there.
Yeah, I screwed up and I didn't pit at the start of the last stage there. I don't know.
Man, it was quite the battle. You guys were putting on a good show, a lot of back and forth action, and man,
Yeah, sorry
it was-
about that.
it was fun to watch.
I had the stream playing in the background, and I thought I heard you ask me the same question twice. My bad. No, I didn't pit after the end of the second stage there. Just had a brain fart, and so came out. I think I restarted 7th, and I knew those guys ahead were gonna try and run fast. And the whole race, I just tried to be slow, really, and my main focus was 3 and 4. I honestly think turn 3 and 4 is what won me the race. I felt like I was faster than everybody else on the track through 3 and 4. 1 and 2 is, that's a super speedway corner almost. 3 and 4 takes a little bit more patience. You can get it in there and it'll get down the bottom, but if you're not patient and let it sit for a second, it's going to try and push up on you if you get on the throttle too soon. And I was able to stay patient, keep it down at the bottom through 3 and 4 longer than anybody else, and I think that's what won the race.
Yeah,
I hate
definitely.
it for Austin though, man. What happened to him really sucked because I know him and Adam both. If they hadn't had the misfortunes, it was going to be a pretty damn good 3-way battle up there for the win. And it sucks that they weren't there, but I needed this one. I had a bad week last week, so almost swept all 3 stages. Come up just short on stage 2, but I was sure trying to get max points because I need them.
Well, hey, man, you got to be happy with taking the win here tonight and making a really good show out of it on top of that. Great job tonight, buddy.
Man, I appreciate you.
Is there anybody you'd like to thank before you head out?
Man, I just want to thank you guys first and foremost for stepping up and doing the broadcast for us. I know there's a little bit of concerns that we weren't going to have a broadcaster possibly, and you guys have stepped up and done a great job. We appreciate it a bunch. And then, secondly, to all those guys that were up front with me that run me clean, being I was trying to run slower and save tire and save fuel, especially in those first 2 stages, they could have easily bumped me up out of the way and caused a problem for me. But, hats off to those guys. Those guys that are fast up front, man, they race pretty damn clean, and that's what makes it fun.
Definitely. Well, we will talk to you next week, buddy. And until then, take care of yourself, man.
Man, I appreciate you guys.
All right. That was your race winner tonight. Now let's talk to Morgan Sterling, the number 5 car. All right. Morgan, you got your ears on there, buddy.
I sure do.
Man, that was a really good battle you had going on there towards the end, buddy.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Coming
Yeah,
off
you
the
guys know.
pits, I honestly thought you were 3rd coming out of the pits, and then I seen you were down to 4th, and man, you just caught right back up, and you were gone.
Yeah, I don't know if he didn't take tires or what. But I was able to reel them in pretty quick.
And definitely, man, you got to be happy with finishing podium. That was a really good performance.
Oh yeah, for sure. I started in the back, tried to avoid everything, and that's what I did, and ended up third. Can't be happier than that.
Yeah, definitely. And, a few cautions happened, but you got to feel pretty lucky not getting tied up into, like almost all of them.
Yeah, I got spun on the caution right after right on a restart. But other than that, I stayed out of
that's
most of
right.
the karting.
Yeah, I did see that. That's crazy. Yeah, I wasn't really sure what happened with that one, but but yeah, man, congrats on a podium tonight. You definitely got to feel good about that one.
I sure do. Thank you.
All right, buddy. Is there anybody you'd like to thank before you head out here?
I'd like to thank my family, my girlfriend, Brianna, for putting up with all of this every Thursday night. And then Chris for having me over on his team and make me a pretty sweet paint scheme.
All right, buddy. Well, congrats on the podium, and we will see you next week.
All right, sounds good. Thank you.
Yep, take care.
You too.
All right, let's see if we got William Gay around here. It does not look like it. So
I don't think so.
that's going to be our interviews for tonight. And with that being said, I will turn it back over to you, Zeb.
And that is it, everybody. We had the one of the two drivers inside that top three, having a bit of a talk chat with them, with Mike, of course, taking care of that. So those drivers quite happy, especially Donald Ray there. And after this one, you have to say it was a fantastic one and another Cup Series successful race. So we're just now going to come in towards the end of it. Hope you all watching enjoyed it. This was a great one. Catch you back on one more time here at BMRL Network for that Monday race and for that Monday in the Xfinity Series. Up until then, it's myself, Zebby, and from my co-host, Mike, as well. And we should be out and catch you next time.